Hey everyone, it's Ryan with SacramentoAppraisalBlog.com, and let's talk about Rancho Cordova. What's been going on in the housing market? Now, I just gave a presentation to the Cordova Community Council and the Chamber of Commerce yesterday, and I wanted to share some of these stats. I'm really excited about these. If you can give me 5, 6, 7 minutes or so, let me just unpack some stuff that I don't think has ever been put out there before. Anyway, how far has the market changed since the bottom? You can see in Rancho Cordova that stats are up from 2012 to the first quarter of 2021, depending on the zip code, about 300,000. And that really mirrors what we've seen in Sacramento County. In my experience, Rancho tends to sort of be in sync with what's been going on in the county. All right. Now, when you look at different zip codes, 95670, now this doesn't have Gold River because it's only Rancho, and then 95742, you can see that price metrics are up this year in 95670 by about 20% or so. All right, now in 95742, you have Anatolia and Cavala Ranch, a few different neighborhoods. Prices are more up about 15% or so. Now it's tempting to say, wow, the market in 95670 is moving a lot faster. But here's the thing we want to look at. When you start comparing price metrics, it looks like price metrics are up about 75,000 in 95670 and about 75,000 in 95742. And so yes, the percentage is higher in 670, but that's also because prices were lower. And so it just makes sense math wise. And so I think the big takeaway is that in this market, sort of all ships rise with the tide, and it looks like the markets have risen at a fairly consistent rate. Okay, here's what 95670 looks like on a scatter graph. You can see this huge uptick. Look at this trend line lately, especially since around July of last summer, mortgage rates dipped below 3%. Just seen the market go on steroids. But let me show you 95742. Then I'll keep going back. Doesn't it look fairly similar? Absolutely. And so there's also been this exponential increase in 95742, looks like about the same trend line. Now in Rancho, when you break down all the sales in 2021 so far, 12% are cash, 10% are FHA, about 8% VA, and about 70% conventional. Now, these numbers are all fairly consistent, more or less, with what we're seeing in the region. I mean, slightly more FHA, slightly more VA, which is a good sign because you want more owner occupants in Rancho Cordova. So here's something to think about. 82% of sales so far in 2021 have had multiple offers in Rancho Cordova. That's slightly up from the average in the county at 76%. Now, I really wouldn't write home over this stat because it most likely boils down to the price point being a little bit lower in Rancho compared with the county. And the lower the price right now, the more aggressive the market. All right. Now, how much did buyers pay above the original list price? Now, this is wild when we consider the past 90 days. You could see in both zip codes that buyers paid about 5% above the original list price. Now, that's the average, okay? Sometimes buyers will pay 10% more or 15 or, whatever the number is. Occasionally, something will even sell below the list price, particularly if it's overpriced. But 5% is a huge number. In the region right now, the average is 4%. And so it just shows that, 5% is really, really getting up there as an average. And in terms of dollar amounts in 95670, buyers paid about 21,000 on average over the list price over the past 90 days, and in 95742 that number's 27,000. Okay, and so these are whopping stats. Again, that's the average. In the region, we are really literally seeing properties sell faster than they ever have. Okay, when you look at the median price, 6 days on market, this means half of properties all year long have taken 6 days or less to sell, or the average days is at 17 days right now. And so it's been really, really fast. Now, in Rancho Cordova, the median days, you can look and see from January and even through May so far that the market's been flirting between 6 days and even 5 days. Okay, pending since May 1st are at 5 days. And so it just shows that, we're not seeing slowness in the stats yet. All right, so here's inventory in Sacramento County. You can see in the green line from 2018, and Rancho Cordova is in blue. And like I said, the market tends to follow what we're seeing in Sacramento County, and you can see inventory levels are slightly lower typically during what we've seen in the county, but follow the same general trend. But here's the crazy part. I mean, look, Right now, there's zero point 0.3 months worth of housing supply. And so that means that there's a third of a month of listings before they're all gone. Okay, so that's all that's on the market in terms of active product. Okay, or otherwise about 9 to 10 days worth of listings when the market should be able to handle, 1.5 to 2 months worth of listings easily. And so it's just anemic out there. A few more visuals. I think here's some positive news. You can see in 2021, you can see January in blue, February red, March green, April purple. You can see that this year has outpaced the previous 5 years. And so it's been a strong year of volume. And frankly, that's sort of what we're seeing in the county and in the region as a whole. But glowing news and just indicative that buyers are pulling the trigger despite there being fewer listings. One reason why there's not as many listings on the market is because so many properties are in contract. Okay, two more things. Here's a graph to show the price versus year built. And you can see year built down here on the x-axis. And basically, properties that were built in the 50s and 60s tend to have a lower price than, look, properties that were built, in the 2000s. And, that's not a shocker, but it just shows sort of the dichotomy, where a lot of the product in 95670 is older and it's going to be at a lower price, and a lot of stuff in 95742 and some of 95670 with Stone Creek and such are going to sell simply at a higher price point. But fascinating to see on a graph, right? Here's the last one. Here's price per square foot over the last 90 days in Rancho Cordova, and you can see that the range basically goes from 200 to 400. Now, depending on the size of the property, at the high end, properties are about 4,000 square feet. At the low end, properties are about 800 square feet. And remember, here's the principle in real estate: the larger the house, the lower the price per square foot tends to be. All right, so that's me. I hope that was helpful. Market update on steroids, very fast stuff. Thank you so much. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or insight, feel free to pitch in the comments below. Thanks, guys.